I've been involved for about 7 years now, but it's a lot longer than that since we had such a game of this magnitude, and it's probably back to 1973 in the Dewsbury Championship winning team.
And Roy Sampson, the Hunslet Hawks, you've done it the hard way. You've had to play 3 games.
Yeah, we have, John, but you know, I'm sure 3 games, 1 game. At the end of the day, we're in the grand final with Dewsbury on Saturday.
Do you think that gives you an advantage, the fact you've only played 1 game to get here?
Well, we think so, and Roy probably would say differently. You know, they're in the groove, but you know, we've had an extra week to prepare, an extra week to get over any bumps and bruises, and we're pretty confident.
And what about the future? Because if one of you wins, and you're going to, there's no certainty you'll be allowed into Super League. How do you feel about that?
No, I mean, that's going to be left to the powers above us. We've got to do our jobs on Saturday, get the result, obviously, for Hunslet or whatever Dewsbury think of that, and leave it to them. OK, well, thanks very much, and may the best side win, as they say. And you can see highlights of the Northern Fork Premiership Grand Final here on YTV, 4:10 Sunday afternoon. Yes, Rugby League is back on Yorkshire television. From all of us here, it's now back to the studio.
Footsteps of his big brother.
Things through a game you can't predict, but it's just never panicking and making sure that your players are stood right way up, and that if they're going to kick a ball, they do it with their feet, not their hands.
Yeah. That's valuable information you've just given me.
Last-minute brotherly advice from Andy, who's in Super League, to Neil, who hopes to join him. It's Dewsbury's biggest game in their history, and if that wasn't enough pressure, the Kelly clan expects.
There's only the pressure that you put yourself under, I think, to succeed. We were very disappointed this time last year that we missed out in the playoffs rather than the grand final. So that's been a big motivator for us all season, is to actually rectify the problems that we had last year and hopefully go on and win it.
They did just that in '73. One former great is hoping for more success.
They've been through some real difficult periods. The old Crown Flat ground where we played is burnt down. They've transferred to the new ground. They've struggled for a year or 2 to get it off the ground, but Neil Kelly now and people behind the scenes, people like Jack Addy, have got the club on even keel, and the club really looks as though it could start going forward.
And come the final whistle, Nigel may have some mixed emotions. The family that plays together stays and maybe wins together. It's a different sport that occupies the Kellys tomorrow, but as always, it'll be a real team effort. James Dayton, Look North.
Well, how do you see that one going in Dewsbury Rams versus Hunslet Hawks team?
Yes, well, just another occasion that we're very spoilt for rugby league this weekend. Dewsbury Hunslet, who can pick that game? I think Dewsbury got so much to play for, but then you can say both teams have. Obviously, the grand final and winning of it is a great achievement, but also one mustn't forget the opportunity to play in Super League. It means so much to both clubs.
Lovely. Well, thanks ever so much for joining us. Enjoy the game, Dean. Moving on.
Hello and welcome to Headingley and to the Northern Fork Premiership Grand Final. Well, few would have forecast that the Dewsbury Rams and the Hunslet Hawks would be contesting the final here today, but quite simply the stakes don't come any higher. Both sides are challenging for a place in next season's Super League. But for the meantime though, the glamour and the financial trappings of the game's elite are not an issue. Many of the players in the First Division are part-timers, and this is how rugby league used to be. John Helm has been taking a look at how both sides got here, and you could say that Dewsbury took the motorway, whilst Hunslet preferred the scenic route.
Hunslet dominated the first half against highly rated Widnes, who'd beaten them earlier in the season. Richard Patchnook and Sean Irwin combining beautifully to give Hunslet the early edge. But Widnes, one of the league's mightiest clubs not so long ago, hit back with Mark Hewitt, their match winner. That meant Hunslet as losers were at home again a week later to Featherstone, conquerors of Lee, and early leaders at the South Leeds Stadium. But David Plange's side showed their resilience, coming on strong in the second half to clinch victory and yet another date with Widnes. That's because Dewsbury hit top form in their one playoff encounter, Nathan Graham soon storming in for the Rams' opening try. Others followed in regular succession, with Damien Ball grabbing 2 of them. And it was Hunslet who made it an all-Yorkshire final with a 10-8 triumph over 2-time losers Widnes last Sunday.
Well, unfortunately, only one of those teams will be partying tonight. This is quite simply the biggest match in the recent histories of both sides, as the fans are only too aware.
A bit nervous. Just a bit nervous, but we're going to do it.
Nervous. Yeah. Very nervous. Sick.
Very nervous, yeah, but looking forward to it. Yeah, it's something we've been waiting for a long time.
Well, what, half an hour to go? Nervous?
Yeah. No, easy victory tonight. Yeah, all these Hunslet fans are just coming out for day out, like they're not going to come see victory, that's for sure.
We don't play rugby in Sweden. I haven't seen it until I came here to England, and I just love it. It's the greatest thing. I love it. I don't support football, but rugby is something totally different. It's wonderful.
And who's going to win?
Dewsbury, of course.
Overall, David Plans is a top coach. He's the best coach outside Super League. And if we get finance, we'll go all the way.
Well, that's what the fans reckon, but the opinions that really matter are from both the coaches. John's with them now.
Neil, just minutes to go. What's it like in that dressing room?
Well, the tension's getting a little bit tighter all the time, obviously, and the players are excited. And I think they just want to get out there and do the job now.
Lovely to see the traditional colours.
Yeah, it's great. Dewsbury not synonymous with cup finals and big games like this. And it's great to see the lads in the traditional kit on their first appearance in the grand final for a long time.
How different is it for Dewsbury's players and supporters to be on a day like today?
Well, for the club, it's totally different. I've spent the sort of best part of 20 years at the club and not encountered a day like today. We've got one or two players who, with other clubs, have featured in finals, but as a club and as a team all together, it's just a massive day for us.
Brother Andy was a winner last year. Is there a message from him?
Well, he's wished us all the good luck in the world and give us a little bit of help in his build-up. But really, even as far as I'm concerned, there's very little we can do for the team once they cross that white line.
But the whole season is coming to a climax in 80 minutes.
Yeah, and exciting. I think this is what we play rugby. It's what it's all about. Games like this, you train in the mud and go through all your pre-season training just to get a day like this that you probably remember for the rest of your life.
David, you've known some big days, Castleford, Hull KR, Great Britain. How does this figure, though, as a coach?
Well, it's up there among them, really. It's a tremendous occasion. It's a great showpiece and at a fitting venue. We're just looking to take that step further. The preparations have gone extremely well. I'm very, very happy with the commitment of all the players, and it's just reward for all the effort and commitment that they've put in over the course of a long and enduring season.
You've had to play quite a few matches to get here against the one Dewsbury have played. Is that going to make a difference?
No, I don't think so. Obviously we've been playing knockout football for quite a few weeks now, and we've been in some high magnitude games, and I think that stands us in good stead, really. I don't really see that this game's going to be any more intense than what the two games were against Widnes. So, I think, as I say, I think it's given us the insight into that kind of football, and I'm sure that'll stand us in good stead.
People seem to think you're the underdogs. Does that suit you as well?
Not a problem. People can think what they want. What counts is what goes out on that pitch in the next 80 minutes of football, and if we perform to our potential, then whatever the result, we'll come off knowing that we did our best, we gave it our best shot, and of the players you can't ask any more.
Hunslet, a club of great tradition but not many trophies. What does today mean to you as a club?
I think realistically you'd have to ask the directors that. If we get the desired result here today, then realistically, I've done the job to my best of my ability, and we've taken the current playing staff as far as what we could possibly take them. The pendulum swings then, and the balance of power goes to the directors. If they have the ambition to take that massive step forward, then there's only them who can play the cards, and we'll sit back and watch the game unfold as it goes along.
Yeah, good luck today. Thanks, David.
Thanks very much, Ron.
Well, the talking is almost over. The atmosphere is building here at Headingley, so join us after the break for the Northern Four Premiership Grand Final, the race for the Super League.
Is it? Strike while the iron's hot. Or is it only fools rush in?
Life is full of conflicting advice, which is why at Swinton we can give impartial advice on what's the right insurance for you. Car and home insurance from Swinton, the impartial advice company.
Ja, weißt du, einfach Berlin wäre sehr viel kürzer, ja? Nein, dahin München.
Soy yo del Real Madrid. No seré yo del Real.
The UEFA Champions League. It matters. See it all only with On Digital. Don't miss a single game. Get your free box today.
Oh, I could murder a gherkin. Oh. Clear Blue, the pregnancy test that gives you a 99% accurate yes or no in 1 minute.
There she is.
My shell's cracking.
Tia, she's beautiful.
You big...
Tia!
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Thank you.
Give me a break. So, is it love?
Yeah, and love hurts.
Sainsbury's, making life taste better.
With every pack of cheese strings, there's up to £12 off the entrance fee to Legoland Windsor. And a special scratch card, where you could win one of 20 VIP trips to Legoland or hundreds of Lego prizes.
Dig it.
So get your hands on cheese strings
And get scratching, feeling, fiddling, trying, finding, nothing.
If you're in business, Royal Mail have a statistic for you.
Here's the stick. I love this stick. Here it goes.
Over 25% of British customers do not consider themselves loyal to any particular company or service.
Go on.
So how do you get loyalty? Visit our website. Why do people bother with dogs?
For impartial advice on car or home insurance, please call Swinton on 0800 600 700.
Welcome back to Headingley for the climax to the Northern Forbes Premiership season. It's the grand final between the Dewsbury Rams and the Hunslet Hawks. Teams are in the tunnel just behind me, and here to describe the action for you is the Bradford Bulls coach Matthew Elliott and John Helm.
So let's have a look at the two sides then. The Dewsbury Rams with halfbacks Richard Agar and Barry Eaton up front. They'll be looking to Alan Boothroyd and Matthew Long in the prop positions. Who do you see as the key man, Matthew?
Well, I think Dewsbury in particular have benefited from their 40-20 kicking, particularly against Widnes where they kick 6 or 7, and they've got a few players who are good exponents of it, but you'd have to say Agar in particular, who kicked 5 on that day, is a real danger for the Hunslet team.
And the Hunslet Hawks side, led by their captain, a very experienced man, Great Britain international Sean Irwin, and I'm sure that they will be looking to top try scorer, the hooker Richard Patchnook.
He's an outstanding player. He's been voted that way by the players and the officials and the media, so they'll be looking for him to come up with some big plays for them this game.
So here they come. Key moments these for players just to be in the right mood mentally. The Hunslet flag flying. Famous colours for these two clubs as well, and it's Hunslet who've come out first, led by their captain Sean Irwin, a man who has seen it all. And how nice to see Dewsbury in the traditional colours. That brings back memories of Crown Flat. You won't remember that, Matt, but that's where they used to play, and Dewsbury always looked like this.
Well, they've come out and all the players look pretty excited, and I guess there'll be a touch of tension there as well, and in the opening exchanges that'll manifest itself in some big contact. Well, let's hope so anyway.
Two traditionally fine clubs, Hunslet and Dewsbury. Their trophy cabinets have been pretty bare over the years, but they've always had loyal followings and little local clubs in a sense, but they've always managed to engender good spirit.
Well, you're hearing the good spirit here right now at Headingley. Both sets of fans are in good voice and getting behind their teams, and And let's hope that the teams respond in a positive fashion.
Referee today is Steve Ganson. I'm sure they are going to respond in positive fashion because it's a massive day for them. It's a whole season coming to fruition and coming to a climax.
That's the beauty of grand final football, and they always rest on a couple of key moments, big decisions or big plays during the game, and it's the players or the team that can respond at that moment that come away with the prize. So I'm really looking forward to seeing these two teams play against each other. They both have very different styles of playing, and which is a great recipe for an exciting match.
It's Dewsbury who put boot to ball. And up quickly in the tackle. Hunslet will not want to lose possession immediately. That's such a key factor. Using the football properly, making use of the 6 tackles.
Yes, and again in the opening exchanges, they're just feeling each other out, squaring off to each other, and getting a feel for the surface and the opposition.
That was the big figure of Richard Hayes there, the number 8 signed from York last season, and a very good signing he is too. Putting boot to ball, Vasilakopoulos.
Well, he's had a shot at a 40-20 there, something that Dewsbury used to good effect when they beat Widnes in the elimination semi.
They certainly did. The halfbacks, Richard Agar and Barry Eaton, are very astute, probably 2 of the best in the business at that.
Yeah, I think Nathan Graham chipped in that game as well, so they've got that ability to do that right across the park. Mind you, it's a bigger field, probably another 10 metres they need to kick at Headingley rather than, oh, now that we speak, off it goes.
Yep, just too far this time, seen out by Butch Fatnona.
Well, Butch is a young lad from the Serena area. He came through with Wendell Saylor, to be honest with you, and was more sought after than Wendell when he was a young kid, but he lost his way a little bit, and it's good to see him now back playing at this level.
Play resuming with Steve Price. His brother Jeff is on the coaching staff at Hunslet. Another big hit there with Richard Hayes taken. And there's the whistle. Offside. A decision from referee Gamson. Well, that's what I like about this game. No complaints. Just get on with it.
They've got on with it, and Widnes seem to be having a little shot at the Dewsbury right side early in the game.
It was Longley offender. Neil Kelly. Can he do what brother Andy did? Just 12 months ago, Andy Kelly took Wakefield Trinity to the Premiership title. Here is Cook, a former Bulls and Rhinos player, and still Cook, and they're opening him up here, and there must be a glorious chance for Hunslet to have the first points on the board. Irwin going for the line. They get the pass away for Cook, close to that Dewsbury line. Paul Cook looks to stretch, he's just short. But now Patchnook's in to try and force his way over. It looked as though he might well have been held up on his back. He was.
Dewsbury are going to have to start containing the offloads that Hunslet are coming up with, otherwise they're in for a real long day at the park. And you just see there, would have been an interesting one to go to the screen with that, I think.
Patchnook, 26 tries this season. He's broken the old record. And it looked there as though he may well have got that ball down.
Well, to me it does. I'm surprised if he's got the facility of going to the screen that he didn't.
Well, sometimes people think referees opt out too often, but that was one where he should have probably called.
I'd have to agree with you there, John. And I've watched some footage of that kid as well, and I thought with 26 tries under his belt that he might have been just a good runner, but he's tidy service out of acting half and a strong defender.
Eaton's got a knock, and for the moment, so Dewsbury reduced in numbers. But it's Hunslet who've really come out firing. David Planger's got them up for this one. And is he there, Higgins? He needs to spin and turn. Held up in Nathan Graham's tackle. But these are desperate moments for Dewsbury. And watch out for that man Patchnook when it gets anywhere near the line. Here he is now, number 9, Richard Patchnook.
That's a lovely pass out of there.
And again they're prizing them open. Surely a try must be here. He stretches though. Looked like a double movement to me. But Rob Wilson. Yeah, double movement.
Well, my early call on it might be that his momentum took him over, but it was just a matter of time before the Hunslet team cracked the Dewsbury team open. Well,
that's where he was short. That's where he's short again for me.
You're right, I'm wrong.
That's a rarity.
No, we've got a fair... I wasn't looking at this monitor, I was looking straight at the playing surface there, and there's definitely a double movement, and that'll be a penalty.
Rob Wilson, big, forceful man who cost £20,000 from Hull Kingston Rovers, but if they carry on like this, Hunslet, we could be in for a shock today. They are the underdogs.
Well, they're certainly asking some big questions of the Dewsbury defence, and they had them stretched all over the field. And as I said, if they don't stop them offloading the ball, it's going to be a long day at the office. I think the loss of Eaton as well is a crucial one for them.
And that's massive relief for the Dewsbury supporters here at Headingley. No try.
Well, the game's all been in Hunslet's favour, but quite often in these big matches that happens, and the other team against the run of play might come up with a play.
No club scored more points than Hunslet during the season. 845 with the league points.
That's pretty impressive.
Dewsbury looking for a toehold in the game. And they've got to look to their big props, Alan Boothroyd, who is one of your former Bulls, and Matthew Long. They've got to sort of drive them up to halfway. Now they've got a chance to prize Hunslet open, though.
Well, they need to get some possession, and you're dead right there, John. They need to get their big people to get in charge of the ball for them.
Good spirited running here from Brendan O'Meara, the Australian centre. He's got the shirt nearly ripped off his back, but this is better from Dewsbury. First time they've really featured at this end of the field. And credit to Hunslet for that. They've contained them well. Delaney at acting halfback. He'll switch it along that line. Dewsbury love throwing the ball around as Agard does there. But there was a spill.
It was what's commonly known as a hospital pass, that one, and I wouldn't have liked to have been on the end of that.
St Hilaire. Hunslet just seem to be having the better possession at the moment.
Well, again, you're right there, John, that they hadn't had the ball for a while, and Dewsbury needed to get the end of that set, and they didn't. And at the moment, they're under a lot of pressure again by this real positive Hunslet attack.
People like Tarfai and Irwin and Pachniuk again here, calling all the shots. That's Richard Hayes. Tarfai. Along the line, Vasilakopoulos. There just seem to be more gaps somehow in the Dewsbury defence.
They're certainly playing with a lot of width, Hunslet, and as you keep pointing out, if they start to spread the Dewsbury defence, Pachniuk in close will break them down as well.
There's a high one from Vasilakopoulos, with again Hunslet have the ball, and they've got to use it, and they use it now. Tarfai, and surely a Dewsbury man will fall on it. Nathan Graham doing the diving act.
Another ex-Bulls player there, coming up with a big play. But you have to feel that Dewsbury are expending a lot of energy holding out these opening plays.
Yeah, our coach, Neil Kelly, admitted to me before the game he gets very, very nervous before a match. I think he'll have chewed his fingernails off already.
I can relate to that. I'll have to lend him some gum.
That was Andrew Spinkheld. This is the game. This is the Dewsbury game plan. Put pressure on fullback Fatnana with the kicks, but he was under that one okay. Now Higgins, Bronco.
He's a very tactically aware kid, and Butch, and they're going to do well to get their 7 or 8 40-20s in this match.
Chris Ross. Well, it's got all the makings of a very keen game and a very close game. Hunslet certainly not overawed, and it may just be that they're coming to the boil at the right moment, that they will profit from those matches that they've had against Widnes and Featherstone.
Possibly, and as we speak, I can just see the Dewsbury defence just starting to look a little frayed this early in the game.
Another strong run from the former Great Britain centre, Sean Irwin, 30 years of age now, but still enthusiastic for this game. Lovely throw out again from Tarfai. He's dictating the play at the moment. Alex Godfrey now. Exciting runner. This boy, look at this, watch him go. This is terrific.
That's a great carry, and they needed it desperately. They need to get on a roll here, Dewsbury.
That was an important clearing run by Godfrey. They only signed him from York this season, and he's been an inspired signing. Penalty, offside.
He's been very tough on the 10 metres, Steve Ganson, early in the game. And he's dictating the terms there to the teams, letting them know that he's not going to have them leaving early in particular.
There he is. He's not biting his fingernails at the moment. You constantly have to be thinking as coach, though, don't you? Substitutions, game plans, everything.
Well, he needs to be on top of the situation because at some stage his team's going to need him to come up with a big call.
Well, the only thing to say about those opening 10 minutes is that Hunslet had the chances and didn't score. Now, this might be a chance for Dewsbury to show what they've been working on in the build-up to this game.
Well, if Dewsbury do come up with... Oh, as we speak, Alan Boothroyd is going south instead of north.
Totally in the wrong direction for about 10 yards. I still call them yards and not metres. I can't get used to that, mate.
That's okay, mate. But if Dewsbury can come up with a try-scoring or a point-scoring play here, it might just let the air out of the Hunslet bubble.
Absolutely. Well, half a gap there. Unable to exploit it, but they do have pace in the centres.
The 13 for Dewsbury also is a very exciting ball carrier, and I've seen him come up with some great try-scoring plays for them during the season.
That was Damien Ball. There's... Oh, big hit. Big hit there by St Hilaire. This is another nasty one.
That's it.
Higgins, good take from him, but he's tackled back behind his own line.
That's a pinpoint kick. That's exactly where you want your high ball to land. But if you don't win the contest for it, you drive the winger back into the in goal, and you get another 6 shots at them.
Excellent kick from Agar. So it's the first time really that they've turned the screw with one of those tactical kicks.
Well, they haven't got a result out of their 40-20, which they put a lot into, so let's see what they come up with this set.
Oof.
A poor kick.
It's a flapper. It was horrible, wasn't it? Rather fortunate to get away with that. If he'd picked it up first time there, Evans, there might have been something on for the Rams. Graham, who links up so well. Plenty of pace here, Boothroyd.
That's a very strong carry.
Acting half-back Delaney. Watch out for movement around the line, but it's a spill by Ball. The man you were talking about, Matt.
Yeah, well, we talked about Eaton going off, and his substitution, number 14, who is...
14 is Brendan Williams.
Sorry, he came up with a pass that Ball wasn't really ready for.
Hunslet's ball, the ball picked out actually by St Hilaire. Well, I'm sure they're working feverishly on Barry Eaton to get him fit. He's such a key player.
Well, when you lose your half-back early in a game, we talked about Neil Kelly chewing his nails. He'd be really worried about that one.
Wilson.
Ooh, high elbow there.
Tarfire's fired it out across that line again, and Irwin, a nice little inside ball here. Hunslet appear energetic, enthusiastic. They're really carrying the game to Dewsbury.
Yeah, well, that Ross shot, he's got some real acceleration there as well.
Nice little chip over the top, but Godfrey will see it out.
That's a great set when you consider that they started with the ball, right back here in their own territory.
I'm impressed by Tarfire, I've got to say, the New Zealander who came over to this country to play for Keighley, and he did it well in their side a couple of years ago when they led the division.
Yeah, I do remember him. I'm just frightened of saying his name, John, just in case I don't get it right. Tarfire.
Call him Latham.
Okay. Actually, that's Brendan O'Meara carrying the ball there. I'm actually surprised he hasn't been picked up at the Super League level. He played very well in Australia for a lot of years in first grade and had successful stints at both the Gold Coast and Illawarra.
Yeah, and South Sydney, right?
Yeah. He played under the direction of Graham Murray, I think, there for a little while as well.
Important for Dewsbury to get up over halfway now. And then they will be looking to the kickers. This is Boothroyd, the captain, and then Delaney. Clever little chip. If he can regather here, that's superb play. That was excellent rugby league play, but as it is, it's turned out into Hunslet hands with that man Ross doing his job again.
That's a great take off his heels. We'll put him in the second slip next week.
Oh, and a brilliant run round on the outside, and this might well be the first score for Hunslet. That was superb play, and he's still going. They just couldn't get Paul Cook down.
Right, well, I saw Cookie getting the clear there. He's extremely quick. Extremely quick. Oh, he's come up with a knock on at the end of it. He won't be happy with that, nor will his coach.
Nobody knows him better than you. And Paul Cook, who played here at Headingley for Leeds, of course, and moved from the Bulls, didn't he, to Huddersfield and then to Hunslet. But he's in the side in preference to Mike Fletcher at the moment.
Well, when Paul gets in the clear, normally it's put the glasses down and you get to talk about it under your goalpost. But Dewsbury scrambled well there.
Well, we got past the first quarter of an hour without a try. Dewsbury really did for Widnes in the opening 10 minutes when they scored twice against them, and Widnes just couldn't raise their game after that. Whereas I've seen Hunslet, two shades of them, slow starters and the good starters. You never know quite what they're going to be, but they've started well in this match.
Well, if I was coaching this Hunslet team, I would have liked to have seen some points on the board. You know, with such a positive start, you'd like to think that you at least got a penalty kick, but 0-0 after 17 minutes. Credit to Dewsbury, they've hung in there well.
And the second one came into the dislike of referee Ganson there. So the penalty goes against Patchnuk. The player of the year, Richard Patchnuk, and the players' player of the year as well.
He's an outstanding talent, and if I didn't have an ex-Hunslet rake already in my team, I might be looking for his phone number. He is of Super League quality, I believe.
Yeah, until Wigan are interested too.
He comes up with a nice tidy tackle there.
Delaney. Oh, this is good play. Only burst Evans.
They certainly get a convoy over on their left side. They like to spread the ball there. Evans and Nathan Graham lingering around each other.
And from Andrew Spink to the other big prop. There's Long. Long and Boothroyd have figured prominently when they have been up here, and this is the first point of the match. It is. There you go, pop one over, and it's 1-0 Dewsbury. Sounds like a football score.
Yeah, well, he kicked 2 field goals in their win over Widnes at their home game in the first semi-final that they played in. So they're not scared to come away with a field goal and restart at the other end.
Important to get points on the board at this stage. They've done so much defending, and yet they've sneaked in front.
Well, that's right. No, and even though 1 point may not seem a lot, particularly at this stage of the game, because they kick 40-20 so well, they figure they can get the possession, get to around their 40-metre area and try and kick the ball into the 20-metre of the opposition and start again up there.
I think he's writing the score down.
he wouldn't have to use too much ink for that.
There's David Plange, the Hunslet coach. Terrific winger, David Plange, over 100 tries. And both he and Neil Kelly hoping to prove themselves terrific coaches today.
Yeah, I bet both of them being ex-players would probably prefer being out on the field playing today than sitting there with all the frustration and the tension that you have to deal with when you're a coach.
Potentially a huge prize at the end of the day. And, watching here is Andy Kelly, by the way, the Wakefield Wildcats coach who took his side up into Super League. No doubt where his loyalties will be today with his brother.
There's that 40-20 shot that they've been going for all day, and I think they've pulled it off.
Fantastic. What a kick. What a kick. Agar again, he's suddenly making an influence on the game.
Yeah, well, that's probably their 4th attempt at it. And don't be surprised, John, if they just go for another field goal, get another 1 point on the board if they don't do anything by play 4 or 5, and try the same tactic next set from their own half.
They scored 4 in the win over Widnes. As you said, Nathan Graham, Richard Agar, Barry Eaton, all very adept.
And that was a great shot. There's very little Butch Batnawana could do about that.
Here they come then.
Oh, no.
What a mistake to make. And it's the man who put in the kick, and all he can do is laugh, actually, at his own demise.
There's people, the sighs of relief coming from one side of the field and people shaking their head on the other side.
Took his eye off the ball, didn't he? As a cricketer, you'll know that is fatal.
Yep.
What an advantage they've thrown away there.
You normally hear the rattle of wood after that.
Well, Hunslet will know that they got away with that drop pass by Agar there.
Well, they're spread out to their left here now and looking for a long ball.
Well, it's a bit high.
Tafai copping a high shot there from Ball.
Irwin. Wilson. Price. Oh, a kick put in here by Hayes. Well, I don't look at prop forwards as regular kickers. You sometimes wince, don't you?
Well, I don't think either of them were happy about receiving the ball on that play, but someone missed their assignment there, and they're under pressure there. The coach Plange not happy.
On the water. Might be something stronger tonight if they win.
Well, someone will be drinking champagne.
They certainly will. Oh, he's ducked through the tackle here. This is excellent play, and this might just be the first score. Terrific tackle, and a very necessary tackle by Higgins as well.
He could find himself in the bin here.
Certainly a penalty. It was a great tackle by Higgins, though, wasn't it?
It was a try saver, but it might cost them 2 points.
Flynn was on his way to the line, and it will be a kick for goal. So Dewsbury looking to extend their lead to 3 points.
He left the official there with no choice really than to penalise him, and you know, in some circumstances he may be lucky even to be on the field. He could have had a break there for 10 minutes.
Barry Eaton back on to Dewsbury's relief, but he's not really featured in open play yet.
Well, he hasn't really had the opportunity. I think he was seeing stars for a little while there, and he's the referee just letting Mr. Eaton know that he wants his team to be squeaky clean as well.
Looking quite calm now, Neil Kelly. More notes to make.
Well, he's got his playmaker back on the field and his goal kicker, so I think Neil Kelly will feel a little more relaxed about the way things are going at the moment, particularly after the start that Hunslet had. Will it be 3 down?
He's kicked over 100 goals this season, and he's just kicked another one. He's added to the tally. He's now scored 256 points this season.
He should almost get 3 for that one. It went over the black dot. He struck that well and never looked like missing.
But he'll take the 2. Early advantage, Dewsbury.
Mind you, Paul Cook is also a player who kicks at about 80% for the Hunslet team. So a tight opening, and that's what you like to see in grand finals. 3-0 after 25 minutes.
I assume Hunslet have brought Paul Cook in for his kicking ability, because Ross has also been kicking goals recently, but Cook is one of the best kickers around.
He was certainly the best kicker that we had at Bradford, and you know, when he was striking them well, again, they went straight over the middle.
Will have given Dewsbury a lift. They've done so much defending, and yet they've got 3 points on the board. And Hunslet, they've got nothing to show.
And they have. They've just raised the tempo there a little bit. I think that emotionally in the beginning of the game, they're a little bit down with all the pressure that they had to absorb, but now they look full of running.
26 years since they won a trophy, and Dewsbury want this one. It took them a long time to settle in this game, but now they're really opening them up, and this is brilliant running. Super play. Can they capitalise now? The ball switched back inside by Evans to Godfrey.
Some great scrambling defence there. Can they hold out for one more play, Hunslet?
Well, they're spreading it now, Dewsbury along the line. They're opening them up, opening Hunslet up. They're looking for the score. It's a try. First of the day. And it goes to Adrian Flynn. And Dewsbury nosing further in front.
There was positive play on both sides of the park there from Dewsbury, with a great spread of play to their left, and they brought it back to their right-hand side after they'd made the break. And Ball showed some great composure right at the end to put the try-scoring play on.
Try number 23 for Roger the Ram to celebrate, scored by Adrian Flynn. A man with a couple of hat-tricks this season, but this is probably the most important try of the lot.
Well, he'd like to think so, but this last pass held up really well, sucked in 2 defenders, and a great finish.
He only just held onto the ball, if you notice. It nearly slipped from his fingers.
Well, let's have another look at it, but there was a bit of a juggle there, but again, Fatmana did great to close down that play, but the spread back to the right-hand side, not their best passing side.
Watch it in his hands here.
Oh.
See what I mean?
And I said it was a great finish. Any finish in a grand final is a great one.
Dead right. And one thing I noticed there in the replay, the part Barry Eaton played, it was a very, very strong run by him initially.
Yeah, he showed and goed and squirted through a hole, and he had a convoy of troops following up.
Well, Eaton's kicked one from a not dissimilar position.
That is unlucky.
No, it doesn't need any further comment, does it? He's a top-notch kicker, and he and Agar have suddenly had an influence on the match.
Yeah, well, we've already spoken about the fact that what a positive start Hunslet got away to, as we just see Flynn going in the corner. And you're right, he did have a couple of bites of that cherry. Hunslet find themselves down 7-0 after being well on top in the early exchanges.
I think that was a point I was trying to make, Matt, really. When you've had all that pressure and got nothing on the board, you start to worry. And here comes Dewsbury, they're up for it now. You can tell they've got the bit between their teeth.
They certainly do. Look for the 40-20 shot again.
He's running with a bit better spring in the step.
And Hunslet, conversely, are just looking a little frayed. Seem to be feeling the pressure.
Dewsbury who are now finding the gaps where Hunslet were finding them earlier. Boothroyd to Delaney. Here's another kick. There you go for these 40-20s. Not this time. Good take. I'm quite impressed by Chris Ross.
Yeah, he's got some real toe. Let's see if Hunslet can respond here this set. We've got a lot of people walking at the moment. They're going to have to do a little better than that. Because Dewsbury are firing up now defensively.
Patchnook. He does well to squeeze a pass away for Patchnook again. Always available, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a busy player. And I think they need him to put a hole in this team.
Strange ball by Vasilakopoulos there. It took one bounce before it found Ross's fingers. I was just going to say the discipline's been good. In fact, really, the only penalties have been for offside, as we've got one now.
They hurt. When you get those late in the tackle count, when you've been dominating a side, they really hurt.
Barry Eaton, who could have been a soccer player, by the way, had trials with Barnsley before he turned to rugby league at a late age.
Well, I'll tell you what, he might have been a good goalkeeper with his free kicks.
Here come Hunslet, needing a score before half-time. Just over 10 minutes left in the first half here at Headingley.
Well, they need to get a result out of this set. If they don't score, they need to get the ball back somehow by getting the ball in goal.
And I see they've sneaked Jamie Thackeray on as substitute. Change of personnel made by David Plange.
The centre set play back up the middle there. Obviously testing the Dewsbury pack out.
Well, now they are, and here is Cook again. Cook for the line. Needs to stretch. He's there.
He's in.
He's there. Paul Cook, it seemed impossible for him to get through, but referee Ganson gives the signal, and he's made it. Paul Cook for Hunslet.
I was just about to comment about the resolute scrambling defence of Dewsbury, and Paul Cook falls over the line. And they definitely needed that try, Hunslet. And it'd be very handy if Paul could slot this kick over to bring them within 1 point.
Vasilakopoulos did well. Crossed the line, and that little scrum half. Tough eye again. And then Cook. Look at that. There are 3 Dewsbury shirts hanging around his body, but Paul Cook still manages to wriggle over. It's his 4th try since he left Huddersfield for the Hawks. And what a good one to get, and what a timely one.
Well, it's 5 players that he got around to get there. He beat 2 players and then carried 3 over the line. And he showed some great feet here, Cookie. Inside one and another. In contact with 2, his old teammate Nathan Graham, and got the better of him.
I don't know whether he's too shattered to take the kick, but they're not entrusting him with it. They're going to leave it to Chris Ross.
Well, Chris Ross must be an outstanding goal kicker to leave Paul Cook at this end of the field while there's a goal kick being taken. Let's see if he proves us right.
Well, he kicked the penalty which brought them here in the last 2 minutes against Widnes last week, so he's got nerves of steel. Let's see if he can kick it between the sticks.
This is a significant play in the game.
this to bring Hunslet within 1 point. Watch for the flags. They're going to go up. 7-6 it is.
That's a lovely strike. It's a statistical fact that in rugby league most points are scored in the last 10 minutes of halves. So let's see if that comes to fruition with 9 minutes to go.
Is that because of psychological demands on the players or because of tiredness?
I think it's a combination of both fatigue and normally at this stage of the game one team just starting to get on top and get the opportunity to take advantage of that.
Tell you what, Matthew, it sets us up for a good second half. 7-6 at the moment, 1 point in it between the Rams and the Hawks.
Well, if a team can get a score before half-time, even if it's a penalty kick, it's a very important one.
The ball lost, but it was forced out of the hands there of Jamie Thackeray, so penalty given.
And that's the first real sign we've seen of Patchnell having a bit of a dart himself. They haven't really been able to get on the roll up the middle that they do like to get.
He's held up this time. Patchnook. Wilson. A lot of people looked at Wilson, didn't they? In the Super League, but the ball's lost.
The Bulls included. We had a very close look at him when he was at Hull KR. Great carry by Nathan Graham.
Talking of Bulls, here he comes, Nathan Graham. Really important from Hunslet's point of view that they don't concede again, but Dewsbury is suddenly starting to throw the ball around with much more confidence and fluidity. There's fluidity in their play. Graham again involved there, and Eaton. They're timing their runs better now.
Yeah, they're getting their depth and their timing right, particularly again down that left-hand side where they like to play to, but it's their right-hand side where they've cracked Hunslet.
He's going to go for the kick here, Eaton. Agar. The take. He's had a very impressive half. And he's got the pass away for Fatnauner. And there might be a burst up this left touchline now from Higgins.
That shows a lot of confidence to do that in the last stages of a half.
Price.
In your own territory.
He's a big, strong fellow, is Steve Price. Been with the club 5 years since he left York.
It was a strong carry, that's for sure.
Vasilakopoulos now, who started his career here at Leeds. Got the Sheffield Eagles. I like the atmosphere here this afternoon. It's great. We're talking about two traditional clubs, Hunslet and Dewsbury, and they've turned out in their favours and they're trying to roar these two sides on.
And a lot of colour as well.
So important, isn't it, that the man picking the ball up makes a lot of ground. Kennedy has come on as a substitute for Hunslet, by the way, but it's so important to drive out. You don't want to peg back near your own line.
Well, quite often if you can make a hole there, it sets your whole set up with the forward momentum and you can get your big plays on.
Whoops. A little slip here. Hunslet desperate to keep Dewsbury up in that half of the field.
I've been really impressed with the amount of work that Alan Boothroyd's done in this first half. He's toiled real hard for his team and led them outstandingly well.
Yeah, he and Delaney are known as workaholics. This one will be picked up by Higgins and he'll straight away give it to Fatnauner and say, go on, have a run at them. He runs straight into the arms of Barry Eaton. And it's all about the work ethic, isn't it? And these two sides encouraged by Neil Kelly and David Plange to get their tackling in. To make every set of 6 count as well. Thackeray. Wilson going for the gap. An important tackle by Agar. We've learnt that from his dad Alan. A kick up from Vasilakopoulos. Chase is on. Dare I ask members of Wembley there for Nathan Graham?
Well, poor Nathan's been tarred with that brush, but he probably came up with one that was a bit he should have done better on, but the team let him down on the other two occasions.
Well, a horrible kicks to have to deal with from one of the best in the business, but he took that one well.
He certainly did. And Bobby Goulding seems to be able to get an extra 10 metres out of them in the vertical direction. Just in this last 3 minutes, you just feel like Dewsbury are playing the more positive style of rugby, and they're going for the 40-20 yet again.
This is where they're good. Hasn't got it. Good take once more from Ross.
And what that tactic does, John, is that it makes Hunslet put 3 people in their backfield to cover the sideline, so which leaves them a little short in the front of the park.
Leighton again there. Thackeray to the 4. Patchnook. When people compare Super League with this Northern Ford Premiership, I often think that one of the biggest differences is simply the size of the players, but the skill factor is there, as we see it again here from Kennedy.
Yeah, it's probably not fair to make comparisons because, he squared it up.
That's the drop goal, and it comes from Latham Tafai. Important as well, just to nudge them back just 1 point.
Well, psychologically, that if the score stays this way, that they know that it's 0-0 and they get to start again in the second half. The point that you're making about the difference between the two competitions is that the players that play Super League get the opportunity to prepare full time. Obviously, athletically, they're more able to develop, and so things like speed and time are taken away from the guys that play at the higher level, where these guys, the halves in particular, have more time to get their skill on. It's very entertaining rugby to watch.
Very good. We sometimes refer to it as grassroots rugby almost, and when you think of Dewsbury and Hunslet, you think of traditional rugby league areas. I remember the old Crown Flat and Parkside. Hunslet have been nomads in recent years, of course, and Dewsbury, their new stadium.
There's plenty of old-fashioned hammer going on, even in the 39th minute.
Well, the fitness factor's good. Wilson.
We've been saying his name a lot lately in the last 10 minutes. He's showing up on both sides of the field.
Well, that's really. Debbie Plans would be very relieved to have got it back to 7 apiece, because if Dewsbury got another score when they went to 7-0, it would have been a massive second half problem for them.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit mixed emotions. He would have liked to have felt that they could have been in front as well. They had some try-scoring opportunities as we speak.
He's run well, hasn't he? Alex Godfrey. For his coach Neil Kelly there. One more try from Godfrey today will take him to 20 for the season.
Well, I can see why he's scored 19 so far. He's a real handful. Boothroyd again, leading his side up, doing the tough stuff.
The referee had a problem there because somebody was standing in front of him. Whoops, the ball stolen for Hunslet. Thackeray. And it just gives Hunslet a chance here in these closing seconds of the first half to edge in front, having been behind all the way.
Oh, great ball.
Now terrific passing. I was talking about the skill factor, it's high. But the ball eventually put to ground, a knock on by Ross.
And that'll see us to half-time, I think, John.
Yeah, at 7 apiece, so it really sets us up well.
It's been a really entertaining half of football as well.
A try apiece, penalties, drop goals. We've had a bit of everything here. It's just as physical as we expected. It's just as closely fought as we expected. So at half-time, Dewsbury and Hunslet, the Rams and the Hawks go away all square. The only tries coming from Adrian Flynn for Dewsbury, and then from Hunslet's Paul Cook. And we'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Headingley and the Northern Ford Premiership final here. 7 apiece between the Dewsbury Rams and the Hunslet Hawks. Couldn't be a better setup for 40 very important minutes in the history of these two clubs.
It'll be interesting to see if there's been any change of tactics, John, after the half-time talks, but I'd say both coaches will be reasonably happy with what their charges have done.
Yes, the one because they had a bit of a shaky start, Dewsbury, and then came good to get the first 7 points. The other, David Plant, because the Hunslet Hawks came out well at them.
Yeah, and let's just hope that the referee doesn't play a part in the result.
Now, we said the kicking game is so vital to Dewsbury. Here goes Agar, looking for the 40-20, not getting it. Higgins with the picker.
You'd have to say that the Hunslet backfield have done, for exception of one occasion, done a great job in handling those long-range kicks. And just finishing on the referee, I think that Ganson's had a really positive game so far.
Talks to the players, encourages them, which I think is good for an official. When Tafai had an important role in the first half. It's Hunslet who started the first half, the bright of the two sides, who started brightly again. Cook now, the try scorer. Patchnook.
That's a strong carry to get them over halfway.
The early minutes of the half, very important. There'll be a Hunslet kick here. It's a clever little chip through, but it's well covered by Barry Eaton, and a strong run from Eaton to go with it as well, and still going as well. He's finally offended in the tackle of Pat Nowner. But that was the best bit of open play we've seen involving Eaton so far.
He found a nice little seam there in the Hunslet defence, and he's got Dewsbury right on the attack.
With his partner Agar, there's Ball, the loose forward. Damien Ball, who's 10 tries so far this season.
Plays well above his weight, that kid.
Dewsbury have brought on Simon Hicks for the second half, the man that they signed at the start of the season from Wakefield Trinity. He's played in every match, by the way, Hicks, this season. 31 games, 16 of them as a sub now. Then Agar trying to chip through to himself, covered by Vasilakopoulos. That one rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It does.
Marcus, we call him. But what is interesting is that both sides in their game plan concentrate very heavily on kicking.
Well, the other thing I'd say, the similarity between the both sides, is that they're quite prepared to use the football. And very positive, prepared to offload the tackle and move the ball around, even in their own territory. Perhaps sometimes in the Super League we tend to be a little bit more conservative than that.
Not sure how that ball squirted out of that tackle there. Wilson was grounded, there were three on top of him. The ball came out perfectly well. Patchnook, we all know how deadly he is close to the line. He's got a good ball away here for Jamie Leighton as well. Jamie Leighton's taking some dragging down. I know David Prans was impressed when he used to play alongside him at Hull KR. Good build-up involving the Hunslet Hawks here, concentrating the move down the left, and plenty of pace down there as well, as we know Paul Cook has.
Well, the opening of this second half is looking very much like the first half when they first came out. Hunslet coming out and all guns blazing and putting all their big plays on early in the half.
There's only about 5 miles of road separates Hunslet and Dewsbury, and there's nothing separating these two teams either today, much as Wilson's penalised.
Yeah, he just tried to loosen a few of Alan Boothroyd's fillings there, and he's going to have a chat with him.
Well, as a coach, I suppose you know how many fillings he's got as an ex-Bull.
There are some things I could say about Alan, but I'm not prepared to do it on air, John.
It's your penalty, he says. As if they didn't know. David Blanche tucked away in his hearing. It's a very professional setup. As he knows, and I think he's built a good reputation for himself as an emerging coach, Neil Kelly.
Well, I think both these coaches are not doing their reputations any harm by getting their teams to this stage of the season, and unfortunately one of them is going to be unhappy at the end of the day.
That was a scrappy play, the ball, but it doesn't matter because Dewsbury are in good possession here. Ball. Not so good, and the set two, a mild one between the two wingers there.
He was waiting for his winger to drop off on him there, and if the winger did respond, he would have found himself in some nice space. And he's just explaining it to him right now.
Damien Ball, another signing from York last season. So it's Hunslet, Headingley Ball. Pat Nowner. Butch. What a good rugby league name that is.
Well, his name's Abraham, to be honest with you, but I can't understand.
Butch will do.
Butch will do.
There's some pace out there as well. They've both had very similar build-ups to this game. They went away to hotels on Friday in a very relaxed mood, and Hunslet are starting the second half in great fashion here. And again, it's Jamie Thackeray driving forward. Now Ross, he'll switch the play over there. Tarfai, cross the line it goes. Great running. Fatnown are involved as well, and this surely will be a Hunslet score. And over on that far side, Higgins gets the reward of early persistence in the half from Hunslet, and Ian Higgins storms over for his 9th try of the season. It's the ex-Bronco. He's a Hunslet Hawk now. They're in front for the first time.
Well, he's come down to the north of England to advance his education, and he's also managed to advance the Hunslet team into the lead. I just thought the player who released the ball to him might have been a little greedy here and held on to it too long. But he's come up with a great try pass, and the Hunslet team, as opposed to the first half, have points to on the board after a positive start. My tongue seems to be getting larger than it needs to be, John.
It was all across the line there. Almost everybody had a hand in this one. Vasilakopoulos, lovely ball from him. Fatnown's linking up was important there. Then the substitute, Philip Kennedy, was the one who finally squeezed that ball away. No doubt about the scorer, Ian Higgins. And there he is, try number 9 of his season. They actually signed him after a loan spell last year in which he scored 8 tries in 3 games. They could hardly not sign him after that.
That is a good dividend.
Well, it's the right side for Ross as the right-footed kicker. And kicking across this way. He's kicked one already. He's not kicked this one. But Hunslet, 10-7, 11-7.
That's a nice positive start for them. And Coach Plan should be very pleased. But the interesting thing, John, is that if you have a look at the try scorers, they've all been outside backs. We've had 2 centres and a winger score tries, which is an indication of the type of open rugby that's been played here this evening.
Great moment for him. So the worries are all on the Dewsbury Rams side now. First time they've been behind. But Hunslet did there what they threatened to do in the first half, and this time they did put points on the board. And there's another storming run from Jamie Thackeray. He's had a big start to the half.
Well, he's made a difference since he's come off the substitution bench.
Wilson.
Maybe Dewsbury need to look to Paul Medley to have the same sort of influence.
There's Paul Medley. Started his career here at Leeds before moving on to Halifax and Bradford Bulls. He's on the bench today. Looking for the gap again. Tarfai. And Hayes. Matchniuk always makes yardage. Tarfai, they're still going. And he's got the ball back inside. Well, excellent play. And yet again at the end of it, Thackeray.
Just a little knock on there from Thackeray. He had to take that ball under a lot of pressure. He actually did well to regain it and nearly got away with it, but unfortunately the linesman was there to pick him up as we see the ball go to ground.
There it is once more. Just squeezed the feather pass, and there was the knock on, well spotted as well by the officials.
Well, at the moment it just looks like, I think David Planch might have snuck an extra 2 players on the field as we see a substitution being made.
Yeah, double one for Dewsbury, who take off Andrew Spink and Mark Haig. They will bring on Sean Richardson, who actually played in the final. And you've got the script absolutely spot on, Matthew. Paul Medley is on. Needs to make a big impact here. Eaton gets it away.
Neil Kelly had to do something because his team were looking very vulnerable there.
There's Medley for the first time.
Paul has 2 big abilities, and that's one to get a quick play of the ball, but also when he gets in the clear for a big man, he's hard to chase.
Oh, he's like a winger. I've seen him score many, many tries over the years. Richardson, the other substitute, who played in last year's final for Wakefield Trinity.
He's out of Castleford, isn't he?
He is. And here goes Medley. Dewsbury making ground. It's still anybody's game, no question about that. Medley in the thick of things again. This is brilliant. This is super running O'Meara. And he's got the ball away as well, and this might well be a score. No, he's dragged into touches, Flynn. Super tackle on him. Super rugby all round.
What's some exciting football being played there. Last play, power play. Some real positive movement down there, and Fat Nana comes up with a great tackle.
This was absolutely scintillating rugby. The tackle had to be made, and it was by Butch Fatnana.
Well, if they continue to keep throwing everything at each other here in the opening exchanges in the second half, you have to feel like that fatigue's going to play a role as we get probably another 10-15 minutes down the track.
11-7, Hunslet lead. Nathan Graham doing his stint there. There seems to be even more pace about this half.
It's definitely gone up tempo, which is again an indication of how hungry these teams are to take the prize at the end of the night. And Wilson again showing up to do the extra work, trying to milk a penalty as well. Vasilakopoulos
with the kick. So Nathan Graham back on duty. Now he tries to run it away, and Tarpai's there with him. Stride for stride. It was a difficult thing to try and get away. Now Godfrey has got pace.
Nathan Graham saw Irwin appearing on the horizon there and decided it was best to sit down. Can't blame him.
Richardson. Penalty given against Hayes.
Ganson just telling they're taking too long down there, and I did hear him calling out their names in the tackle, asking them to release.
Dewsbury now need a score, and they look to their skipper Boothroyd. It's been a pretty clean contest. Eaton now. And then Agar's ball is for Medley.
That's a strong tackle on him by Vasilakopoulos.
He'd love to go out on a high, Paul Medley. He's coming towards the end of a distinguished career. And if he gets the ball 15 yards out, there may be no stopping him. It's Eaton again now, and Agar linking nicely. The longer ball from him to Evans. Evans can carve them open. Unfortunately, he just slipped as he set off.
Yeah, he's looking a little bit limited tonight. I don't know if he is carrying his knees bandaged. I don't know if he's carrying an injury there. He doesn't seem to be running as freely as he might do.
Again, Boothroyd drives Dewsbury in it.
Ooh.
Agar, he'll kick for the corner. He'll hope that someone is over there in the famous Dewsbury colours, and the ball is put to ground, and this is a score. And Dewsbury are right back in it. The referee will ask for a replay of this one, but it would seem here that Dewsbury have got themselves back level with Hunslet here, and it had to go down to an error before ball pounced.
Well, it's a lottery when the ball goes in the air, and there's a possible offside, but looking at the replay there, he's onside.
Well, it's always a problem with those high kicks, and how on earth they manage to spot people out of the corner of the eye, I never know. But here it is.
Oh.
It looked like being an excellent take by Higgins, but down it goes. Difficult one for anybody to take.
And this is going to end up being 4 points for Dewsbury. And Ball comes up with a great opportunist try, and he's still got some work to do.
Well, he is a try scorer, Damien Ball. This will be number 11 of his season if it's confirmed.
Well, that one would have been a mark in the AFL Grand Final that was played today, but unfortunately we're playing rugby league, and
well, they were contesting the ball. He spilled it for my money, and when it was picked up, Ball was in perfect position to take advantage, and despite Cook's tackle, he was burrowing his way over that line for what looks a good score. It is given.
Well, it hasn't been given yet, John, but don't you dare spell that, or we'll be fighting in lumps.
I can spell ball, B-A-L-L. And we're back level.
Yeah, and some, the last plays, the kick play, in elite rugby these days in Australia, 60% of tries are scored through the kick. And when you're contesting for the ball like that, you need to leap. And unfortunately, it just slipped out of Higgins' hands and ball tied it up and got across the line.
Some people have an amazing ability to score tries. Some people don't get too many in their careers, but this is one fella who knows where the line is.
He had some work to do there. Paul Cook might be a little disappointed with himself that he didn't work a little harder. Just looking at the replay, it was a little further out than I originally thought. He's done a great job there, Ball.
Eaton with the kick. Screws it across the face. And, well, it may be a cliche, but it really is everything to play for now at 11 all. We're off underway again. Well, that will have given the Dewsbury Rams a big lift. Medley now. Always runs with purpose.
He does, and he gets a quick play of the ball in, which allows the next guy carrying the ball to be running out of defence, not moving up into his space. And in the first 3 plays, they've taken the ball 35 metres up the park.
Eaton to Agar. Linking nicely, still Agar. Squeezes the pass away. Eaton's at the shoulder once more.
I've got to say how impressed I am with both teams with their willingness to move the ball about, and the fact that there are people there waiting for the ball to be delivered to them as well.
Daily Pledge trying to get a message through there. He certainly couldn't shout from the touchline and expect to be heard. Now. Probably picked up there the referee shouting that penalties will cost you.
Yep.
And there you are, you see somebody has not heeded his warning.
Well, he's trying to get right on top of both teams here. He wants a clean game. And he's just bitten off a little bit more than he needed to there.
Paul Cook, one of those who prefers to plant the ball on the ground before putting it into the crowd.
And he's driven his team nearly 40 metres up the park. And Hunslet gets some great field position to put on perhaps a try-scoring play.
The Premiership season coming to a climax, and what a thrilling climax it is as well. All those months of effort.
This is a reverse play across the back of the ruck.
So I'll find Vasilakopoulos again. They got through on this side before, did Hunslet. On the substitute who's come on, Richard Baker. Involved, good hands here. Getting ever closer, they're creeping towards that Rams line. Patchniuk, watch out for him, there he was. Tarpai slips, and although he goes to ground, he still manages to retain the ball and then make a couple of yards.
Wilson just leaves the field, one of their strike players for Hunslet, and coils on.
Last tackle, Patchniuk. Just held up. Well, they knew it'd be him, but they still find it hard to stop him.
I'm still waiting for him to really open them up. He hasn't really asserted himself on the game like we've all been expecting. Let's see if Hunslet can keep the Dewsbury team here. And that's a great carry out of acting half.
Well, that's Godfrey again. He's made excellent ground every time he's been in possession.
He's been a real foil for his forward pack, and there's another outside back carrying the ball. Is it the other winger?
Yes, Adrian Flynn. He got the day's first try. Delaney. Now Richardson.
He's good on his feet for a big man, that guy, isn't he?
Sean Richardson certainly is. Good signing for the Dewsbury Rams this season.
Oh, that is a tough penalty. And will he take the 2 points? It's a big call. Oh, I tell you what.
I think he's a right to look disappointed, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was interfered with the play of the ball. He's been pinged for taking the ball forward of the mark, but you'd like to. Sometimes you just like to see the advantage go with the attacking player there.
Yeah, I don't think he was really seeking to gain an advantage. It was momentum that carried him forward.
And Hunslet decided to go for the 6-point play.
Well, the minutes ticking away, and Hayes for Hunslet.
He's been a tireless worker as well.
He's been an excellent signing for them over the 2 seasons.
Jesus, this Thackeray.
Very impressed by Thackeray.
He certainly doesn't tackle himself, John.
Queuing up around the danger zone.
Are we going to see a play out of Patchnook here?
Yeah, that was Kennedy. This is Patchnook, and he's got it away. Maybe the drop goal. It's over. And it comes from the boot of Jamie Leighton. Second rowers, centres, halfbacks, doesn't matter who pops them over. It's the second rower on this occasion, Leighton.
Well, I find that a little surprising, to be honest with you, John. They decided not to take the 2 points that was on offer from the penalty kick. And at the end of the set, they take 1 point option. And to be honest with you, with 20 minutes to play, I don't think at this stage it's going to be the decisive play.
No, they won't complain if it's 12-11 at the end of the day. He would, as the Dewsbury Rams coach, but surely there are more points to be had in 20 minutes.
Well, you'd like to think so, particularly when you consider that in the first half, both teams, and more changes are made, both teams burn a lot of fuel, and I really feel that in the last 15-10 minutes of this game, both sides will start to show some real obvious signs of fatigue.
I think it's worth pointing out that if the scores are level at the end of 80 minutes, we have 10 minutes of each way of extra time.
I think after that, if the scores are still level, it's the golden point.
They do carry on, you're right. They will be dropping like flies if they play for 100 minutes at this sort of pace. But it's Hunslet a point ahead at the moment.
Was that man Thackeray again?
He's been terrific since he's come on.
And they're really struggling with him, the Dewsbury defence.
Fat now. He's quick.
He's hurt himself there. He came into this game with a bit of a hamstring injury, and they wouldn't like to see him leave the field.
No, he might not be quick now. So Cook helps out. It's the kick from Vasilakopoulos.
He thumped that ball. Oh,
he's been unlucky there. It just popped up for Nathan Graham to accept it. It might have pushed him back. It looks as though we're not going to see much more of Butch.
Now he's off the field. This has turned into a real arm wrestle.
And this promises to be a highly charged 18 minutes. Medley, he does get that one away. Oh, and it's along the line. He's got to hold on to this one as O'Meara. Alongside him is Godfrey. I'd like to see this fella running at full tilt because he is exciting.
He's just really reluctant to drop off on his centre or the player carrying the ball to him. Again, he missed an opportunity that if he dropped off on Godfrey, would have been in O'Meara, would have been in a lot of space.
Eaton held in Mick Coyle's tackle. Nice to see Mick Coyle on. There he is. He's the longest-serving Hunslet Hawks player. He's been around for 10 years. He's played on a few Hunslet grounds.
Well, I'm quite sure he has, but I was a little surprised that they took Rob Wilson off for him.
Mick Coyle, Hunslet through and through. But yeah, Wilson's had a big game, but they may well push him. Who knows what goes on in coach's minds? You can tell me.
Yeah, we might have been running out of steam. I wasn't watching him closely, but he had really put himself about, and he looked like he was penetrating.
All the substitutes involved now. This is Simon Hicks. Dewsbury desperate to get back in front. It's oscillated this match. First Dewsbury in front, then Hunslet. And this is going to be a penalty. Oh, the scrum given.
Medley's come up with a lost ball, and he's had some help from the Hunslet player there.
Well, that's why I thought he was giving the penalty, but I think the crowd thought so too.
Oh, that's a tough call against the offensive team, and everyone in the Hunslet team breathes a sigh of relief.
Whoever's going to win this one is going to have to work for it. It's times like this that they call on every ounce of character.
Yeah, well, it's disappointing for the Dewsbury team because they had a convoy lined up here on their left side of the field.
Spun away out of that tackle did Thackeray. Vasilakopoulos. But Thackeray has done tremendously well since he's come onto the pitch.
He has. Just a quick one there for you, John. I did allude before that I thought that Evans' knee trouble might be hampering him, but I see they've brought O'Meara over here to the left side and they've replaced Evans.
Dewsbury, remember, finished top of the Premiership. Hunslet behind them. Godfrey twisting and turning like a corkscrew there, but he can't get out of the double tackle on him.
Yeah, His coach's heart rate just went up to about 240 within flirting with a sideline like that. Oh, that's a big hit.
Yeah, you enjoyed that, didn't you? The sight of Jamie Leighton going in there. Thundering tackle. Hager to Medley.
And the defence has just gone up a beat here. Nathan Graham has got great feet, Nathan Graham, and can tear any defence apart.
Another who's in double figures for tries this season. Close to getting through there, the substitute Williams. Hagar calling the questions, chips ahead, he needs another kick on, it's a good kick on, there's a collision between the two. The ball will be run dead here. He'll be bundled down onto the ground, will Chris Ross. It looks so good for Richard Hagar then, just for a moment, and then there's a collision here. Hagar, there it is, halted him.
Well, the last three plays for Dewsbury then were massive plays. They've just been hammered inside their 30-metre area. Nathan Graham comes up with a big carry. Another big carry out Acton half. And then Eager comes up with that play. And Hunslet find themselves drop kicking out from their own territory with another 6 to defend.
Vasilakopoulos will look for distance. He's got it up to halfway into the hands of Nathan Graham. Dewsbury through and through. I know he was a Bradford Bull as well, but he was born in Dewsbury, and this is his second spell with the club.
Yeah, I'm surprised Nathan is playing First Division, to be honest with you. I think he's of Super League standard, and the fact that he's not been able to be released in the open field proves.
There's Williams.
What a high-quality game we are watching here, John.
Several of these fellas have played Super League. Very high quality. Delaney, who's always been top draw. They've got numbers out here. It's the reverse ball infield. Richardson.
Oh, who came up with that tackle?
Eaton. Well, Hunslet defended stoutly there, didn't they?
Was it Price that came up with that tackle then? My God.
Whoever it was earned his salary.
Exactly. If they come away with a victory here tonight, he should be drinking free beer for the evening.
They got through those 6 quickly as well. Oh, the ball lost now though, and Boothroyd's the one to pick it up, and he'll certainly spark another Dewsbury Rams raid.
I know we've been wrapping Thackeray up, but he's come up with a horrendous error there.
And it's Medley. It's Medley stretching. He's 5 yards short. Delaney. Again, they look to this left-hand side. That's the second time in the match that Hagar has put the ball down in the most awful circumstances for him.
Well, at the moment, John, they're doing everything tit for tat. Offensively, they're throwing everything at each other. They're coming up with try-saving plays and also errors when they don't need them.
Concentration a big part of the game. Neil Kelly still discussing matters on the touchline. He'll be disappointed with that though. Nobody more disappointed than Hagar himself.
Well, particularly after Paul Medley had nearly cracked them and he had them really searching.
Well, who's going to be a hero? 13 minutes left and somebody will be. I'm pretty sure about that. There's only 1 point in it at the moment. Hunslet in front. The next try might be the clincher. Who'd bet against this fella scoring it? Richard Patchnook. 26 tries this season. What do you do for a 27? Vasilakopoulos, good passing from the Hunslet Hawks now. Higgins held.
You've got to pay credit to Dewsbury for shutting Patchnook down tonight. I don't think he's really come up with too many threatening plays.
It was just the one early on where we felt he'd had a good touchdown, which was disallowed. This is where Dewsbury can't afford to make errors. Back inside their 20 metres.
And Flynn's down. I don't know if that's a genuine injury or he's just given his teammates an opportunity to suck the big ones in.
Whatever. He had to be substituted for the play the ball. And the magic spray is out. Hagar, this time he does take it. Could be a great weekend for the Hagar family. Father Allen last night with Castleford, of course.
And this is him with the ball now. Yeah, definitely a good weekend if they come away with a victory. He's a 40-20 shot. He hasn't got that one clean.
No. It's long enough, but it's straight into the hands of Richard Baker, the flying wingman, who's come up with some important tries for Hunslet, their player of the season last year.
Well, he's been drafted into fullback tonight, and it's, you know, with kicks and 40-20 kicks being put on, high kicks being put on, he's been asked to do a lot in the absence of Fat Nana, sorry. Another one of those
You
names.
like that name, don't you?
Butch.
Real tackle by Butch. Just held by Simon Hicks. Looking promising for Hunslet though at the moment. Their fans will roar if they get the next score. This is a difficult one to cover. Flynn, who's managed it well, he doesn't look to be too badly injured now, does he?
No, he's picked himself off out of his deathbed and come up with a real important carry.
Well, there has to be a sting in the tail of this match in the last 10 minutes.
Well, I don't know what substitutions are available to either coach. I haven't really been following it, but if they can come up with a real important one, like get Wilson back on for Hunslet, for example, and we'll see one being made here for Dewsbury.
Well, that is one of the difficult things to follow in this game, the substitutions. Medley wants to be involved, doesn't he? The ball wasn't the cleanest, but Ball has picked it up. Damien Ball, that is. Scorer of Dewsbury's trying this half. A long kick. And that one will go from Williams into touch.
I think he was just outside, just 2 foot outside the 40-20 zone.
A big part of the Dewsbury game plan. And he's a big match player for them, Brendan Williams. 13 tries this season, and last season he got 3 against Hunslet, and he got another 2 against them this year. Maybe that's why he's on there.
Well, I guess his coach would just like him to get one tonight. We'll start with one. David Plange is asking the timekeeper to blow his horn now.
He's got 8 minutes to sweat it out. At least 8 minutes, and then if Dewsbury get a drop goal or a field goal, as the Australians love to call it, we'll have extra time.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what happens this set. This is a real important set. With 8 minutes to go, you're probably looking at 10 possessions, 5 to a team here.
There have been some lean years for these two clubs, but they're turning on a show for us today.
And Hunslet lined up to their left.
That's the way they're swinging it, predictably. And the longer the ball, the more dangerous maybe here. They do get it out wide, and then Cook comes in field.
Oh,
Paul Cook, we saw him twist over for a score in the first half.
Just felt he needed to get on the gas there and really take the fullback on.
Decent kick from Vasilakopoulos though, and Nathan Graham does have space and time.
That's a great kick to finish the set. And Dewsbury have to bring it out of their own 20 from the corner.
Long, yet another of the Dewsbury players whose fathers used to play this game, Arnie. He was a Bradford Northern player in the days when it was the Northern.
There you go. I'm just going to comment on Price, the Dewsbury, Steve Price, the Dewsbury back row. Gee, he's put himself around the night.
Medley. Did well to hang on to that ball. It was kicked with such ferocity by Medley's heel. Williams held. And Dewsbury hoping against hope now that they can make this one last ditch effort. Oh, he didn't hold on to it. There was the gap opening up there.
And the Hunslet players appeal for a turnover and a scrum rather than the 0 tackle.
He's a product of the Hunslet Academy with Jamie Thackeray. Well, the minutes counting down, and it's the Hunslet fans who are ready to celebrate at the moment.
They've found their voice and they're right behind their team.
They certainly are. When you saw Hunslet lose to Widnes in the first of the playoff matches, you thought that was it for them, but the system dictated that they had another little nibble. So off I will kick over here to this left touch line. Ooh. Good take. Very, very good take by Flynn. Oh, well. And he got the pass out too.
Well, these guys obviously go to the casino quite often because they're quite prepared to gamble and take the risk in this territory. My goodness.
But don't players have to make a lot of decisions, as Flynn did then? Dewsbury penned back. Not much more than 5 minutes of this little contest remaining. It was close last year. It promises to be close again. What a magnificent break here by Eaton. He's got to get the pass away. He doesn't do that, but Barry Eaton there has gone 40 yards and he's set Dewsbury up. This may be their chance. It's Richardson. He's held in the tackle. Spins and gets the ball away. Godfrey fumbles it. Can't believe it. What a chance wasted.
Eaton's run 40 yards, run 40 dummies. Everyone's gone for him, and he missed Godfrey on his outside, as you'll see on the replay here. He stays on his outside, and he's got no one in front of him, and he's not happy.
He knows the ball should have gone out. David Flange still a lot to spell out to his team.
And with 4 minutes to go, Hunslet need to get to the back end of this set, and the ball needs to go in the touch, and they need to start to wind the clock down by walking the scrums.
4.5 minutes left at Headingley. What a nail-biter. It was a thriller last year at the McAlpine between Wakefield and Featherstone, and this one's just as good and just as tense.
Was it you, John, that criticised that drop goal Ben taken? I'm sure it was. It wasn't me, was it? I said there'd be tries scored.
Yeah, it's staying at 12-11 to the Hunslet Hawks for the moment. Tough eye. Well, then can Hunslet stage a grandstand finish with one last flourish? Now then, Godfrey mustn't put this one down.
Well, I don't think that was a real wise tactical move myself.
Well, he'll try and run across there. He'll feel he owes his colleagues one now.
He does. Mind you, he's had a very strong game for them. Carried the ball willingly from acting half and picked up a lot of valuable metres.
That was probably his only mistake. Here goes Medley. The voice goes up when he starts running, simply because you know there's always something on. The two teams are slugging it out. They're going for one another here, the local rivals. The incentive of place in Super League, but the incentive also this Northern Ford Premiership trophy.
And they're having a big shot.
Agar, huge ball here for O'Meara. And O'Meara might have got the ball away as he does, and they might still charge up the middle with Long. Hunslet, it's all hands to the pump for them now. Are Dewsbury going to snatch it? The clock shows 3 minutes left. Agar, a try now for Dewsbury would be shattering for Hunslet's confidence, but they've got the ball back with Higgins.
Well, they need to try and force an error now. They're still going to have possibly another 2 cracks in possession. They need to be composed, work hard defensively, and see if, good night.
What a run. This is the moment for the Hunslet Hawks. Has he got it? Can he go the whole way? No, surely not. Tough fight.
Well,
He's taken it a long way up into the Dewsbury Rams half, though. And here they come for the kill. It's Patchfield.
That was Baker, I think, who got on the clear there. And Godfrey chewed the metres up and managed to close him down.
Tough fight.
Well, this is probably Dewsbury's last crack. Again, they need to try and use all 6 plays. And they neglected probably last time when they had the opportunity to maybe square the scores up at 12-all with a drop goal.
Time definitely running out for the Dewsbury Rams.
Well, they need to do a little better than just hitting the ball up like they are at the moment.
Delaney for Eaton. He's made a couple of good breaks in the last few minutes. The pace intensifying if that is possible. Spink with the first ball.
He needed to release that ball.
He sees it slipping through his grasp. Eaton. Twisting, turning, still going almost on the ground. And then, well, I suppose he thought he had to try something. As it is, he put the ball straight into the hands of the Hunslet captain, Irwin.
Well, a set of 6 takes more than a minute 20. They will get one more chance unless Hunslet managed to get the ball into touch on last play. Well, some of the Dewsbury players look like they've resigned to the fact.
Thackeray to play the ball. Hayes, he'll just simply drive it in, which is his game.
And he's done a great job for his team tonight.
We're in the last 60 seconds. It's Price. He's had a big game too. Hunslet, Hawks, 40 seconds away from the Northern Ford Premiership title. And, well, he knew exactly what he wanted to do with that one, didn't he?
Well, what are we going to see from the scrum base here? Is it the predictable kick? Because I'm quite sure both wingers will be well back. So if they're prepared to chance their arm and pass the ball, Dewsbury are still a chance.
The player of the year was thinking on his feet there, Richard Patchniuk. The clock shows 26 seconds. Dewsbury. Last chance saloon for them. Nathan Graham. Is there going to be drama right at the very end here? Important tackle.
Still got 3 or 4 plays to go.
A huge ball out. It had to be. Oh, Richardson. He took it. He still goes. It's Richardson. The ball is wide for Godfrey. But the hooter is sounded.
No, it hasn't.
Well, has it? No, the referee. Everybody's arms are raised. The players have stopped. It has. It's all over. It's the Hunslet Hawks. It's their day, and it's got his Neil Kelly. And he shakes hands with Mark Conway there, and it's the Hawks who are celebrating. They're the ones who are swooped for victory.
As you cast your eye across the field, you see the 2 extremes of emotion at the end of the grand final. You've got the Dewsbury players laying on the ground. They've given everything tonight. And the Hunslet lads, well, they're ecstatic.
And how often do you see it that the second favourites come out on top? And it's David Plans there who punches the air as he leaves his seat, who will be down on that touchline, I'm sure, to share in the celebrations in a moment or two. The Hunslet club has gone such a long time. They won the Division 2 championship a couple of years ago, but this is a big one to win.
Oh, they'll be delighted. And if you look at the last 3 games that these teams played against each other, the total difference has been 5 points. You know, so we knew it was going to be tight.
I told you he's got goal in minute. Jamie Leighton. Well, whoever would have come up with that one at the start of the day, that Jamie Leighton's drop goal would be the difference between the 2 sides.
Certainly not me. I didn't think it was going to be the difference between the 2 sides at the 60-minute mark. I'm just going to give myself an uppercut as we speak.
Thoroughly enjoyable final. Nice scenes to savour for the Hunslet club. Commiserations for Dewsbury, who've played their part, but maybe they just didn't quite fire as they have done so often this season.
Well, I really can't criticise the Dewsbury team at all. I just think that the Hunslet defence was so resolute. They scrambled really hard, and you know, it's probably hard to say that they deserved the win, but they didn't deserve to lose either.
12 points to 11. The big question I've got to ask you now, of course, is if they get into Super League. We've seen what's possible through Wakefield Trinity's achievement this season. What would Hunslet Hawks have to do in Super League?
Well, it's not for me to comment really on the administrative side of things, and I know there'd be some barriers there, but you know, looking at their personnel, they've got a strong core of a team there, and some players who may be able to compete at that level if they had the opportunity to prepare full time, but they'd certainly have to draft in, you know, some high quality players, both from overseas and domestically, so they'd have to probably open the checkbook.
Great day for people like Price there at the front, and Sean Irwin, the captain, who will step up now to receive the Northern Ford Premiership trophy. We can hardly see him, we can hardly see the trophy. Now we can. It's their day, all right. A super day for the Hunslet Hawks, but will it be Super League? Only time will tell. But a fascinating contest, Matthew. I think you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've had a great afternoon into the early evening, and it's a game that I thought wouldn't come to the standard that it did. I must be honest with you, but it has been some outstanding skill on display and some great character and dedication. You know, and the result being 1 point in it just indicates how close the 2 teams were.
I think they're going to have a great night.
Yeah, that cup won't be empty for too long, I'm sure of that.
Well, a very, very tense final and a very close score indeed. Hunslet Hawks winning by 12 points to 11. Let's go down to Don and get some reaction from the 2 camps.
Paul, congratulations. How do you feel?
I feel ecstatic. It's been a long season for myself. These guys have brought me in the last 4 months, and it's just been It's just been a great 4 months for Hunslet Hawks, really.
I would like to pay tribute to the Dewsbury Rams players. You know, I mean, I know how much our fellas have had to put in throughout the course of the season, and I'm sure that they've had to do exactly the same. And you know, they come away from the game having nothing, you know, but a lot of respect, you know, from a game of such magnitude. You know, I really do feel for them.
There were a couple of moments where you did have your chances.
Yeah, I think that's what finals are all about chances and missed chances. We didn't take them, Hunslet did, and even the drop goal probably didn't seem that painful at the time, but you know, we just never had another chance to come back at them, and fair dues to them.
It was always going to be a close game. Dewsbury beat us twice on both occasions. It's been very, very close. And it's been a very close game today. It's come down to a drop goal, but we stuck in there and we did the job.
Have you thought about what you're going to do tonight?
Well, just go home and spend quality time with family. But I'll have a few beers and we'll take it from there. Devastated at the moment, obviously, you know. It means a big decision for the club. We were looking today to get the Spring League into the Super League. But it's not happened, you know, to the credit Hunslet, you know, they've come and performed and they won the game.
It was a great game for the fans and the neutrals. Was it enjoyable to play in?
I think it was, you know, quite an open game, and I think for everybody it would have been really enjoyable. I think every player on the team got their fair share of the ball, you know, so hopefully all the boys will never forget this for a moment.
Well, great scenes here at Headingley as the underdogs, the Hunslet Hawks, upset the Formbook and record one of their most famous ever victories. We leave you with the lasting images of a memorable grand final. Goodbye from Headingley.